What is the NFL's argument to get this suspension back to 6, assuming that the NFL jacks it up upon appeal? How do they attack that? And we've talked about it before. The NFL usually does pretty well in suits against players in federal court.
Yeah, when they control the forum, that's the case. But until Deflategate in 2015, the Players Association had run a long winning streak of beating the NFL in court and in front of arbitrators, such as the Bountygate decision that arbitrator Paul Tagliabue rendered, Barbara Jones in the Ray Rice case. People forget that the Players Association had been victorious for years running, and it was only when the league was successful in choosing their venue, the Southern District of New York and the NFL headquarters, where they finally got a favorable home forum. So I've always viewed this as the Players Association is successful when they're able to bring the lawsuits in states other than in New York. With Ezekiel Elliott, for those that might remember, back in 2017, the Players Association first brought the suit in the Eastern District of Texas to vacate the arbitration award. They got a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. Adrian Peterson, the NFLPA, brought suit in Minnesota and won. These decisions were overturned later on, either on appeal or after the case got transferred to New York in the case of Ezekiel Elliott. But the union really has to choose the forum here. They're the natural plaintiff. The league doesn't have to do anything to confirm an arbitration award. Under Article 46 of the CBA, the arbitrator's decision is full, final, and binding on Deshaun Watson without any further action being taken by the NFL. So if the NFL goes to federal court in New York to confirm the arbitration award, I think the Players Association is going to argue that that's a totally unnecessary step being brought in bad faith to supplant the NFLPA's preferred choice of forum, which is in the Delaware federal court. So the first thing to look out for is, after this arbitration decision is rendered by Peter Harvey, who's going to file the first suit? If it's the Players Association, they're going to bring this case in Delaware, and that's going to be the location of the litigation. If the league wins out because they get tipped off for the early timing of the release of the decision, they're going to bring it in Lower Manhattan in the Southern District of New York, and then it would be up to the Players Association to argue to the New York federal court that this is a bad faith filing designed to basically engage in forum shopping. So in order to properly handicap this lawsuit, if and when it does happen, I think we're going to have to first evaluate where's the venue of the lawsuit. If the venue of the lawsuit is in Delaware, well, that's the court where Sue Robinson served as chief judge for 7 years, and she was a federal district court judge for 25 years. And I think of the 5 judges that serve on that court, 3 were colleagues of hers before she had retired, and the other 2 were litigators from Wilmington, Delaware, who practiced before her. And I think Deshaun Watson and the PA have a pretty decent chance of persuading a Delaware federal district court judge that Sue Robinson, the only neutral hearing officer in this case, that her reasoning makes much more sense than the reasoning of an NFL selected arbitrator who gets all of his work from the league and who has a built-in bias. So I think Watson's best chance at winning in federal court is to have this case be brought in Delaware. And I think the ship has sailed on getting on the field for week 1. I think by not appealing Judge Robinson's decision, Watson has to serve the first 6 games of his suspension. There's no way around that. He has waived the right to claim that he's entitled to take the field in week 1. So this is all about week 7 going forward. But again, if the Players Association is going to take an appeal or file a lawsuit in federal court, I think we have to be looking at discipline in excess of 12 games. If it's 12 games or under, I think Watson probably leaves it as is, or maybe does take a shot at it. But I think 12 games is the dividing line between whether I think a suit can win or whether it has no chance whatsoever.